Oh, it's just real. Oh.
Hi, everyone.
Oh.
Welcome to Real Quick,
Oh.
a show where I talk about movies real quick. Except for my last video was 20 minutes long.
The points are made up and the show don't matter. That's right. Dang it!
That's what we're doing right now.
Hey guys.
Hey, so
I'm Micah, by the way.
This is Micah. Also DailyPasta Studios. Because I'm gonna plug your channel, get you famous.
I want that YouTube
Go
fame.
make that YouTube money, the one that's like not being given to anyone right now.
Finally. Justice.
We just came back from seeing Your Name, aka whatever it's called in Japanese, I forget. Long story short, it was really good.
It would be I saw no in there.
Yeah, it's just called like, No.
It's like
Kimi wa no.
Yeah, it would be Kimi. It would be Kimi wa no Name?
Something like that.
I don't know.
But
I don't know Japanese.
This is my second time seeing it. Actually, I saw it. I think Saturday or Sunday. One of those days. I loved this movie. Oh my god. We're gonna be doing spoiler free. Is that cool?
Oh,
unless you want to talk about spoilers.
I do, but we could do it in the second half. Like general first half, and then we'll put up a big spoiler.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
the second half.
So
that sounds good.
We're gonna be spoiler free for the first half. All right. So general feelings. What were your general feelings on the movie overall?
Hold on. Keep talking.
All right. So general feelings for me. Oh my god, I really love this movie. How do I talk about this without spoilers? Basically, well, I guess we should talk about the story.
Yeah, that's the overall premise.
Yeah, the premise is basically like a body swap comedy romance type thing. This boy and this girl swap bodies every few days and see what it's like to live in each other's lives, and then that's it. Nothing else happens.
Nothing else.
Yeah. Don't you worry about it.
It's a very wacky hijinks.
Are you looking up the title in
yes.
Japanese? Is it that important to you?
Kimi no Nawa. Kimi no Nawa.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to find out.
Okay.
We're good. We're in the clear. So what we're talking about.
General feelings.
General feelings? I enjoyed it. It was great. Eric, before we got to the theater, Eric was like, "Oh, this may be my favorite movie so far, ever."
Yeah.
So right now, and I was like, "Okay, that puts it at a high standard." But me, if you know me personally, I don't have expectations for much of anything until I actually see it with my own physical eyes, and then I won't shut up about it for quite some time.
Micah hasn't felt an emotion since 2006.
Too soon. But yeah, like I honestly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's for movies, for me personally, I personally don't like to watch films more than once, like more than once within like a certain period of time. I immediately wanted to watch it again after finished seeing it. So that was a pretty good sign of how well they did making this movie. There were a lot of cuts that I like for something I've recently fallen in love with is like the showing of the passing of time. Like how do you instead of like doing like, oh yeah, you see the sunset, oh yeah, you see the sunrise, how do you make a scene that's transitioning into daytime or nighttime or what have you interesting? And I feel like they did a good job doing that as well in some of the scenes. I did like their transition from the boy to the girl and other things like depicting like what time of day it was and such like that. I find a lot of that sort of stuff interesting. Like how do you direct this to be interesting? How do you make it like, oh, the passing of time this has to be interesting somehow.
It wasn't just a bunch of like reverse shot, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like super sample animation. And something like what you said before about like immediately want to see it. Like again, when I first came out theater, I was like, can I just stay here and just wait till the next showing? The first time I saw it, and like I just saw this like 3-4 days ago, and I just immediately wanted to see it again. I wanted to see it as soon as possible. I wanted to see it so much, I went to the wrong theater to see it.
That's fun. Good times. I'm glad we didn't get the same Uber driver.
Oh,
But yeah, it was very also, this is not a spoiler.
Mhm.
The water's gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Like 90% of the time that water's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think there's a point in the movie where it's not gorgeous and it's done like that purposefully. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it wrong, but I think there's and I'll talk about that once we get into spoilers, that the water's not as serene looking as it is in previous scenes, and I think it's done like that purposefully.
Okay. I don't remember the scene you're talking about, but we'll talk about it more later.
Yeah.
I should also point out that the version that we saw was the dub, and that's the version I saw twice. Like, the movie in and of itself, like, I haven't seen the subs yet. I want to. Once that comes out on Blu-ray, it's mine. But, there were, like, as far as dubbing goes, like, the voice acting was great. They kept the original music in. There were just, like, there was one scene where, like, you could tell, like, there was, like, some translation stuff that's kind of awkward. It's not really a spoiler. It's like, I talked to my girlfriend about this, and the way she explained it was, like, the I pronoun in Japanese could be male or female.
Yeah.
And there's this one scene where, like, in Japanese, she says I, but the female pronoun of I. And, like, her friend, like, Taki's friends are like, huh? You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And, like, in the dub, it's just, like, it's kind of awkward. Because you don't really, like, he kind of referring to herself as a lady, and you're like, what is she doing?
Okay,
Or she doing? Yeah. So, like, the dubbing was kind of awkward, and, like, they also, I don't know why they decided to do this, but, like, they dubbed the songs, and we were talking about this before. Funimation kind of has this thing where, like, they translate the songs literally and try to fit as many words as possible. So, like, it sounds awkward sometimes. So, I didn't really like the dubbed songs, but, like, that's really just a problem with the dub. I think, like, if I saw this subbed, I would like it even more. And I love this movie dubbed. It was so good.
It's great. Let's see. I wrote down some notes.
Okay.
Not sure if that's not really a spoiler, just talking about the general flow of it. Like, mostly, the way that they transition between characters, was very good. Like, their introductions was very well done, in my opinion. I feel like you spent enough time with both of them at the beginning to understand their plight and understand their reasonings and such like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was well done. I honestly think that the introductions are pretty well done.
Something I didn't even think about was the fact that, like, you're introduced to these characters when they're in the other person's body.
So is that spoilers? Do you wanna?
I mean, that's, you know what? You want to just jump straight to spoilers?
Let's jump. Welcome to Spoiler Cast. If you want to protect your sensitive eardrums from spoilers, then be sure to leave.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Did you like?
I like the part where it exploded.
No, continue with the actual thing.
No, but I liked. Well, was that? Yeah, it was true because they introduced each character, when the other person, when they're in the other person's body.
Yeah.
You first meet the girl. I forget their names too. What is your name?
What's your name?
Yeah, but you first meet each of them when they're in the other person's body, and it's the voice acting, especially, like, they did a really good job of, like, capturing, like, different speech patterns, like the way that they would talk, like the voice, like, the male voice actor made his voice a little higher, the girl voice actor made her voice deeper, a little, like, raspier. Like, it sounded like she was voice acting, like, you know how, like, a lot of times we like to have a girl voice act a young boy. It kind of sounds like that.
I agree.
It sounded completely different than when she's, like, actually voicing herself and when he's actually voicing himself.
That is true. Their names are Taki
And Mitsuha, right?
Mitsuha.
Okay, cool. So
That was Stephanie Sheh.
Stephanie Sheh?
Yeah, she voiced Orihime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Oh my god.
That's actually pretty good. Wait, for Funimation? That's pretty good.
Who did Taki?
Taki? It's a name I don't know. It's Michael...
Stephanie Sheh.
It's intern Klaus.
I've definitely heard that voice before. I just don't remember.
That's fair. Oh, that was Kyle Hebert. I don't know why I got him confused with someone else. Kyle Hebert being Gohan.
Oh.
Adult Gohan.
Who are you playing? Okay, I know who that is.
You know who that is.
Oh my god. Okay, so did we talk about animation? We kind
of the animation was really good. I mentioned it before. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it wrong, and I may have to see it again. But like I felt like I'm gonna just trying to find my notes really quick. But I felt like there was a specific point where the water always was like super gorgeous the whole time and like shining and sparkling. If you like when they had it at a certain angle, well, even at any angle they had it sparkling. But like after the thing, which I'm still not gonna spoil, why not? But after the thing, I felt like the water wasn't as shiny, it wasn't as romanticized as it was at the beginning. That's what I felt. That's what I felt looking at it, because I was specifically looking at the water that whole time, seeing if the environment was going to be act as a character and seeing if it changed in accordance to what the situation was, because they put so much emphasis on it in most of the scenes that like it stuck out like a sore thumb anytime you looked at a scene. So I was looking for those sort of things when I was looking at the film.
You're talking about I guess like I'll try not to get back into too much spoilers, but when Taki first sees the town.
I'm talking about when I mean we already said the spoiler cast thing.
Yeah.
But it's after the comet hits, the water isn't romanticized anymore. It doesn't really have too many sparkles in it. I may be remembering this wrong. Yeah. Because like the few scenes that they did show of that, like it may have gone by quick, but I'm personally looking out for those sort of things. I don't remember it being as sparkly. Yeah,
no, that's definitely something they would do on purpose, because everything about the animation in this movie is so meticulous. Like they care about every detail. Like something I noticed was like when they first wake up and the sunbeams are like pouring through the windows, you see like little like specks of dust in the air.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And oh my god, I live for shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff's great. They did that throughout the movie. That was throughout the movie, not just those scenes. They were that was throughout the movie. So they put in work. Yeah. There was a budget.
Oh my god, I forget who the director is. But I've seen like gifs from some of his other movies, and like just like the realism of some of it, like the way that pencils move on paper, and it just looks like a real pencil, a real paper, and like it's realistic, but it's also like you could tell there's like some creative license because he made it almost like just beautiful.
Yeah.
And, oh god, that's so much.
I think I didn't hit all the points that I wanted to make. I did want to point out one of the cons for the movie. Well, this isn't necessarily a con, and I'm not sure how I would do this. I don't think in the way the movie was presented I would change the scene, but it felt like Taki was more of a lead than Mitsuhara.
Yeah, I didn't know
Mitsuha rather, not Hara. Yeah. But yeah, he did have a much more prominent role, but that makes sense because it's a rescue mission essentially.
Yeah.
And he and towards the end there was a scene where Mitsuha had to stand up to her father. And I don't think I would change it, but having that moment of Mitsuha playing a prominent role in saving the town and having it there, I feel like on one half I don't want that scene to be there. I think that the way they cut it was perfect. But on the other half of me, I kind of want to see that scene, but I already know. But like as I was thinking about that, I was like, I kind of want to see that scene, but I know that if this was like some American movie or something like that, it would just be like her pointing out his flaws or talking about like how he abandoned the family or something like that, or it'd just be like drama that it would just be needless extra drama on top of it when it hasn't really been like brought up before, except for that one scene where he yells at her to stand up straight while walking.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would have worked out. So I think that the way they cut it there was fine. I just wanted Mitsuha to play a more prominent role, and I hope I'm saying her name right.
Yeah. I think that is one thing like if this were an American, well, first off, if this is an American movie, it would be completely different.
Oh, yeah.
But if this were an American movie, that would have been like a long, like 5-minute scene of like, it ends with like them just crying. Like he's just like, I'm so sorry, I ever hurt you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I'm glad. I'm kind of glad they didn't show it. And I'm also kind of like, what exactly would she say? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to think about like what she would say to actually convince him.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that they did a very good job cutting it there. I think that was a good choice on them not to like ramp down the movie with more dumb stuff. But and it's also a very good turn to like, they don't tell you until like much later that like they don't tell you until like later. You don't get that immediate gratification of going like, oh, she talked her dad out of it.
Yeah,
it's like that's the last you see of her until the very end.
That's
actually
true. I didn't think about that.
So it's like oh, what happens now? And then there's like some miraculous miracle happened and I'm like, yay, like no one died except for if you were injured. I think it's what it said to it, like no one died.
But now that I think about it, that actually makes me think that that's kind of like, it's kind of pivotal that they don't show her talking to him.
It's very pivotal.
Yeah.
That's why I immediately after thinking I was like, nope, that needs to stay as it is.
Yeah, they can't show it because it's like, if they show them talking, it's either, it's kind of left up to suspense. It's like, did she convince him? Did she not convince him?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I do like that. And about what you were saying about Taki being the main character, I see what you mean. I recognize that a little bit more. Like, in the last, I guess it would be like the last act of the movie, when they're adults and like they can't remember who they're looking for. It really does mostly focus on Taki. And I see your point, because like for most of the movie, it feels like it's like an even playing field.
Yeah.
But then like near the end, it seems like it's mostly focused on him. But I think that does bother me. But I also think that they kind of set up for that too. Because Taki in the beginning, like Taki's the first person technically he's not the first person you see, no, he's not. But he's the first person there because he's the one who's first in her body.
Yeah.
So he is technically the first character introduced.
Yes.
So I think it's like that's kind of always been my thing. It's like the first character you see who's not like obviously like gonna die, person who's just like dies immediately, it's most likely gonna be the main character. You know what I mean? Especially like in a
except for the
ensemble.
Illusionist.
Yeah.
I love that
movie. Which I haven't seen. No, I've seen, but it's been a long time.
You should watch that movie again because I told Mom when I watched it with her, but it's amazing that it's a movie not about the illusionist, but about a police officer making a difficult decision whether to follow the orders of his country or to disobey his orders and actually stand up for himself.
I agree. We'll watch that movie. That's the conversation for another time, though. Yep,
this was good. Now, let's continue on with this if we have anything more to say. I think I'm... one thing I really, really wanted to point out, and it's super cool. It's finally not a dream.
It's finally not a dream.
It's finally not a dream. Like the ending. It's finally not a dream. They actually get to remember all their future interactions and stuff like that, and that's like super pays off in the end. Like like all this like. Wait, what happened? Who am I forgetting? Who am I chasing? Who am I looking for? There's some precious someone that I need to find. It's finally not a dream. So they get to finally actually remember all this stuff and remember their interactions with each other and do stuff.
I told you I wasn't crazy! She's real! But no, like, oh my god, that I'm gonna have to fix that later. I'm pointing at like a spike that I made from screaming. But that's true, and that's one thing that I really love about this movie, because one, it actually really, really captures what it's like to have a dream, and it's like a dream that you could like, you have the dream, even if it's something that's like crazy, and even while you're awake and you're like going about your life, you're like, okay, I'll make sure to remember that. Like in this dream, this happened, and then you completely forget.
Yeah, of course.
And oh my god, that messed with me so much. It makes me want to like keep a dream journal.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And also just like. Near the end, I don't know if it was like this for you. Was there ever a point where you were like worried that they weren't going to meet up and the movie's going to end without them meeting each other?
I didn't actually think that, because I understanding the genre, knowing that it's a romance, like it is very much a romance thing. And this being so highly acclaimed, I was like, if these two characters don't at least get that, like, Tom Cruise laugh at the end of the movie, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't at least get that, hey, or whatever, then people are going to scream at their screens and not like it. If there was just that, then that would be fine. But, like, I think that ending it on "What's your name?" that was good.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect.
Absolutely.
But when I first saw it, I thought they were gonna like have them just not meet each other again. It was just like it would just be a dream, just something that they just forgot about, and that also like that would have killed me. But I also would have understood that ending too, because sometimes you just forget people.
Yeah,
and they just almost become like a dream. It
was cool. That's a really good point that you made, because it's towards the end of the film, like they show everyone moving on, going about their life, doing different stuff, and it's kind of like that moving forward aspect of like graduating, trying to like job search and stuff like that, meeting people that are now married that you had interest in before. Those things happen, and those things are like super cool, and I can see why a lot of people like relate to this movie, because it's like I have a friend that I knew in high school. I think she had a crush on me at the time when we were in high school, and now she's getting married, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. I'm happy for this person that I consider my friend still. Yeah. So it's like I understand why a lot of people connect with this movie, and a lot of people like this concept. I can understand this concept.
I think the fact that even admittedly, like I'm not quite as analytical as you are with the movie, so like I did still think there was a possibility they wouldn't meet. But I think the fact that there was even like a hint in my head that they wouldn't meet up shows how like
scared you were.
Scared, and just how daring this movie would be. Because I feel like with most other animated movies, especially from like America, there wouldn't be a question of if they would meet up again. It would be when. It would be like, okay, when are they gonna finally meet up? When are they gonna like embrace and kiss and stuff like that? And you don't even get that.
Nope.
And the thing is, that's what I love about this ending.
That's what they like. All they needed was just to know each other's name. That's all they needed. Yeah. They didn't like. There are romantic implications. Yeah. However, the whole like everything comes together where it's like the first question asked from each other was, "Who are you?" Yeah. That was the first question out of not even either of their mouths. It was the first question written down. So finally getting to discover that and keep that information and continue on with that information, that being the first thing, it's like a bookend. It's like you get that answer finally, even though the audience knew it, they finally get it. And if you feel sympathy for those empathy, I guess it would be, for those characters, and understanding how important that is to them, like after fighting so much for it. That's what they deserve.
It feels so earned.
Yes,
you know
it feels earned. Exactly.
Like they went through hell for that.
Yes.
And I love that. I was gonna say, and it also is a bookend too, because like one thing I didn't notice was like at the very beginning of the movie, like when you watch it again, you notice it's actually them as adults that you first see.
Is it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did remember. I tried to remember that there was a moment when they both were adults at the very beginning, and I forgot about that.
They did a great job. And the thing I was gonna say about the ending that I loved so much was the fact that like it was held back enough, because it was held back because you could tell the second after they said each other's names, they burst out crying. I can guarantee it.
They were already crying.
Yeah, but it's like it's waterworks, but they I feel like they purposely held that back because they wanted that to be like almost like a moment just for them.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Well, I think that's about it. Yeah. I think that's all we can talk about.
Yeah. I mean,
water's gorgeous.
The water's gorgeous. Everything's movie's gorgeous. Go see it if you can. It's in select theaters. Please check it out. It's good.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Next episode, I'm going to make Eric watch the first 2 episodes of My Hero Academia and see if he cries.
I probably will.
Hopefully. I did.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.